The right of indigenous peoples to education is protected by the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, which in Article 14 states that indigenous peoples have the right to establish and control their educational systems and institutions providing education in their own languages in a manner appropriate to their cultural methods of teaching and learning. The right of indigenous peoples to education is also protected by a number of other international human rights instruments, including the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Goal 4 of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development Goals calls for ensuring equal access to all levels of education and vocational training for the vulnerable, including persons with disabilities, indigenous peoples, and children in vulnerable situations. In spite of these instruments, the right to education has not been fully realized for most indigenous peoples, and a critical education gap exists between indigenous peoples and the general population. Given this fact that the draft human rights guiding principles on the obligations of states with regards to provide involvement in education may contribute to advance indigenous peoples' rights to education as human rights. This is an excellent text, and I have found that the experts had really worked hard to address all the needs that to be addressed in the text. I thank you so much to all the experts for their time and contribution to this valuable text.